The lights dimmed until only a faint glow lingered on the stage. A hush swept over the hall, the kind of silence that feels heavy, almost sacred. Out from the shadows stepped a boy, no older than 17, his shoes scuffed, his shirt patched at the elbows, his entire frame carrying the weight of a life far harder than his age should have known. In his hands was a guitar, second-hand, the wood worn smooth from years of practice under streetlights. The crowd murmured, their curiosity tinged with doubt. Some leaned to each other, whispering, "Who is he? Can he even play?" Their eyes caught the faded instrument and the boy's trembling hands, and already, judgment was cast. The host's voice broke the silence. "Please welcome Daniel." A weak applause followed, more out of politeness than belief. Daniel stood frozen for a moment, his breath shallow. He wasn't here for applause. He wasn't here for fame. He was here because this was the only way he knew how to say thank you. Then, a single chord rang out. Thin, fragile, but strangely haunting. The melody of Hotel California began to pour from the old guitar. The hall stilled instantly. Something in the boy's touch carried both desperation and devotion. Each note seemed to carry a story, of hunger, of sacrifice, of nights spent alone with music as his only companion. Behind the curtain, an older woman pressed her hand to her lips. Her dress was worn, her face lined with exhaustion, but her eyes were alive with tears. She knew this song. Years ago, when her voice was strong, she had sung it softly to her child before sleep. Now, she listened as that child returned the song to her, transformed, raw, and filled with gratitude. The audience didn't yet understand, but some already felt their eyes sting. This wasn't performance. It was confession. It was love turned into sound. Each chord pulls Daniel deeper into memory. He remembers nights when hunger gnawed louder than music, when neighbors laughed at the poor boy chasing impossible dreams. He remembers the sting of being invisible, until now. The judges lean in. One nods with admiration, another scribbles doubtfully. But in the front row, Mr. Hartwell grips the edge of his seat. Every lyric feels like it's aimed directly at him. Years ago, Hartwell was the hotel manager. A sharp suit, quick decisions, little patience. He remembers her, Daniel's mother, standing at his desk, pleading for work. He turned her away. "We're full," he said coldly, without looking up. She walked out, clutching her son's hand, dignity shattered. Now, that same boy stands here, pouring his soul into the very song she once hummed while cleaning his lobby floors. Hartwell's throat tightens. His vision blurs. The crowd rises into a standing ovation as Daniel's final note hangs like smoke in the air. Applause crashes like waves. People weep openly. But Daniel's eyes lower. The ovation feels distant, hollow. What good is applause when the one person he wanted to hear him is gone? He bows awkwardly, tears falling faster now. The curtain begins to close, but destiny isn't finished. Because someone in this audience carries a secret. A secret wrapped in guilt, redemption, and something Daniel never expected to receive. Tonight isn't about winning. It's about truth colliding with the past. Backstage, Daniel wipes his face with the sleeve of his shirt. A stagehand pats his back. "Kid, you just shook the whole place." Daniel forces a weak smile, whispering, "She didn't hear it, so none of this matters." Footsteps echo. Slow. Heavy. Mr. Hartwell emerges from the shadows, his expression torn between courage and shame. "Daniel," he begins, voice trembling, "do you remember me?" Daniel turns sharply. The memory strikes like lightning, the hotel lobby, his mother's desperate tone, the man behind the desk who dismissed her. Yes, Daniel replies coldly. You closed the door on us. Hartwell's face collapses. I did. And I have lived with that regret every day since. He reaches inside his coat and pulls out a worn leather folder. His hands shake as he opens it, revealing a yellowed photograph. Daniel freezes. It's his mother, smiling, younger, holding him as a baby. On the back, her handwriting, "For my Daniel, never stop singing." His breath catches. The very photo she thought was lost. He drops to his knees, clutching it, sobbing uncontrollably. For the first time since her passing, he feels her presence, not as a memory, but alive in his hands. Hartwell kneels beside him, tears spilling. I cannot undo the past, but let me honor her through you. Daniel lifts the photo to his chest. In that moment, grief and forgiveness swirl together. The boy who lost everything, is about to gain something he never imagined. The next morning, headlines explode, homeless boy's heartfelt hotel California moves thousands. Clips of Daniel's performance flood screens worldwide, his cracked voice echoing across living rooms and phone screens. Strangers cry watching him, strangers who've never known his name. But the real story doesn't play out in headlines. It happens quietly, in a small press hall. Cameras flash as Mr. Hartwell steps up beside Daniel. His suit is sharp, but his voice trembles. Years ago, he begins, I failed a woman and her son. I denied them when they needed me most. Today, I choose differently. From this day forward, Daniel has a home, a scholarship, and every resource he needs to continue his mother's dream. Gasps ripple. Reporters scribble frantically. Daniel turns to him, unsure whether to trust or retreat. But Hartwell's eyes, once cold, now carry humility. Later that evening, Daniel walks to a quiet cemetery. Kneeling at his mother's grave, he places the returned photograph against the stone. His voice breaks. Mama. I sang for you. And the world listened. Behind him, Hartwell removes his hat, bowing his head in silence. No spotlight, no applause. Just two souls, one seeking forgiveness, the other learning to forgive. Daniel strums his guitar softly. Passers-by pause, drawn by the fragile sound. The song, once his alone, now belongs to anyone who's ever lost, loved, or longed for one more chance. But destiny has one last twist waiting, hidden in a letter sealed with truth. Months later, the hall is packed again, but this time, it isn't for a contest. It's for graduation. Caps and gowns sway. Families cheer. Pride fills the air. Daniel, taller now, dressed in his gown, walks across the stage to claim his diploma. The crowd rises, applause thunderous. But the loudest clap, steady and strong, comes from Mr. Hartwell, smiling like a father reborn. Daniel steps to the podium, voice trembling. I once believed music was just notes. But I've learned its sacrifice, its love carried through generations. My mother gave me her voice. And a stranger, once my enemy, helped me carry it forward. The crowd erupts, tears shining. As Daniel descends the stage, an usher hands him an envelope. Confused, he opens it. Inside, a letter written in careful script, I've been searching for you, Daniel. I never knew you existed. I am your father. Tonight, I finally heard your song. Daniel's hands shake. The auditorium gasps. He looks toward the back, where a man, older, unfamiliar, stands with tears streaming, nodding gently. Hartwell steps aside, eyes wide, realizing this isn't the end of his role, but the beginning of a bigger family than he imagined. Daniel clutches both the letter and diploma, overcome. He thought he stood alone in the world. Yet tonight, he stands with a legacy, a mother's sacrifice, a stranger's redemption, and a father's return. The boy who sang from pain now sings from love. And